What's up, guys? It's AD here, and today I want to kind of toss out a warning and just some advice in regards to Battle Pass weapons, specifically when it comes to using them with Diluc. Now, for those of you that have been living under a rock, when you reach rank 30 in the Battle Pass, you get to choose from one of these 5 weapons, and they're all actually really good. And for Claymore users, there is the Serpent Spine. Now, let me start off by saying Serpent Spine is actually a really good weapon when it's activated properly and when it's at its full damage output. So every 4 seconds you gain 6% more damage, which is really, really, really good. It almost rivals Wolf's Gravestone, the 5-star sword, when you actually have the passive stacked up all the way and you're playing correctly, or you got plus you have your crit rate, which scales up fantastically into late game. The problem is that if you're running any kind of a pyro composition or you're playing Diluc and you want to run this, you will just never have this passive active. And the reason why is every time you use 90% of the fights that you take in this game. I know in Abyss you're fighting on like a little bit of a rock bed, and sometimes you're fighting in the streets or wherever, but like 90% of the combat in this game takes place out in the open world and on grass. And so when you go and you use your fire abilities for any reason, you can actually set the grass on fire, right? And it happens all the time. I mean, I'm sure like Diluc players just ignore it. The problem is that this fire actually hurts you and affects this sword's ability to function. So if you're using it on Diluc, there's going to be a large percentage of the time where you're going and you're trying to kill something and you just lose all of your stacks because now you're on fire. You set yourself on fire every time you fight, which feels really bad. So on the one hand, it rivals the best 5-star Claymore in the entire game when it's actually working properly. On the other hand, it is useless because you can't actually get the passive to work unless, consistently, I guess I'll say. And the same thing goes with like, if you're using like Bennett for an ult, right? His thing sets pyro, it sets things on fire as well. And so the problem is like, if you go and you're swapping characters into that elemental burst, it's any kind of tiny damage is going to affect how this weapon actually functions, and it significantly reduces its effectiveness. Now, if you're playing Razor, go for it. If you're playing, Chongyun, go for it. But when you're running any kind of a fire comp, which I feel like a lot of people are, it's totally up to you, but the actual how good this weapon is significantly reduced because of this annoying interaction. And especially considering you have so many, like some of these other weapons are literally best in slot weapons like in the entire game in terms of 4 stars for specific characters, right? Like this black sword is like pretty much best in slot for Keqing. This Solar Pearl is fantastic on Ning Wong. Go check out the video I just made of her. And like no other weapon in the game does this. Generates a cyclone. It's like a mini venti ult. I mean, like some of these weapons are really, really good. So just before you pick up Serpent Spine, please think about just keep this in mind. But that's it for me, guys. Adam D out.